We're going to get this in one take today. Hello and welcome to Monson Made This. This is day 2 of my plant-based diet experiment where I'm trying to lose a few pounds on a whole food plant-based diet. If you missed the first part, I'll have it linked above. If you're coming to these videos after they've all been released, it's a week of videos over a week of time, then there's going to be an entire playlist that has all of those videos in it. Before I show you what I eat on this particular day, on Monday, day 2, I wanted to just set up a couple of things or explain a couple of things that may come up. So the first thing is about intermittent fasting. Second thing is going to be about exercise. So intermittent fasting is something that I've not tried to do. I'm not going for intermittent fasting, which is where you go, I think, upwards of 16 to maybe even 18 or more hours in between meals. So you eat dinner and you don't eat until later the next day. So there's a large window of time. People swear there's benefits to it. I'm not sure of all the claims about intermittent fasting, but it's not something that I'm intentionally doing. I like the way that I feel in the morning with a cup of coffee on an empty stomach, and I try to push it as far as I can because that's when I feel my best. If you've ever watched any of my videos and seen me a little bit shaky, it's probably because I'm filming that video at like the end of that ability to push it. I'm normally not hungry. If I don't start eating early, I can just stay without eating, just drink coffee, and I feel great until I don't, and it's time to eat. I don't try to necessarily push it beyond my limits. If I'm hungry earlier, I'll eat earlier. If I'm not, I don't. Again, I really like the feeling that I have in the morning, just with like it's kind of a clarity. And another reason why I wanted to do this experiment as well is to see how foods made me feel after I eat them, to see if I get that crash, or to see if after I eat a meal I feel great and energized. The second thing that I wanted to talk about is exercise. In June of 2019, a friend and I, John, started going to the gym, and we started going 5 to 6 days a week, and we were going for about 8 months. I was feeling great. I had been losing weight, building muscle, everything great that comes along with exercise. I was experimenting. I was pretty much just eating whatever I wanted. I didn't care. It was all of the chips, all of the candy, and I still was losing weight it was slow and steady, but I still felt like I was achieving progress. Well, then COVID hits and gyms close and we stopped going, and I didn't really change the way that I was eating while going to the gym after I wasn't going to the gym, so things obviously crept up on me, which is what's leading to this happening now. Now on October 31st, Halloween, also Nevada Day, I decided, a friend of mine named Jordan who lives in New York, who used to live here, just on a random Instagram chat said that he'd been running. And I thought, you know what? I've been trying to find a way to exercise without going to a gym. So maybe starting to run or jog will be something I can do. So on that day, Halloween, I tried it, and I basically haven't stopped since. Started out maybe 10 minutes the first day, built up to 15 minutes. During the span of this week, I was jogging about 25 minutes each day, burning around 400 or so calories, which, talking about calories, will probably come up at the beginning of the next video. But you'll see that I talk about going on a jog. My idea here is I try to go every other day. If I feel good and I feel like I have the energy and I'm not sore, then I'll go again a second day in a row, but ideally I'm only going every other day. So that's the amount of exercise that I am doing during this week, although there's a clip towards the end you'll see where I try to do some exercises, and it's not a pretty picture, but showing warts and all here. Okay, I've rambled enough about intermittent fasting, which I'm not doing, and exercising, which I'm jogging. So let's get on to day 2, the Monday, what I eat in this day, trying to lose weight on a whole food plant-based diet. It's 8 a.m. I'm drinking espresso with a little splash of almond milk, and I'm wearing a hot pink Lady Gaga hoodie. I really need to bring in my better tripod. I'm currently kneeling on the kitchen floor with the camera on the counter, but it's 20 after 2 and the dogs are poking at me because they want some food, but probably shouldn't have taken a bite. Well, I was about to tell you what it is. So I ended up going on a jog that I didn't intend on going on because I wanted to relax today and rest, but I decided I wanted to jog, so I did, and I wasn't really hungry afterwards, and so I've just been kind of sitting around being lazy and responding to Instagram and YouTube stuff, but I decided to make myself this salad. This is basically a kale salad with a ton of quinoa and beans. So on my channel I have a salad or a video called, I think it's like the manly kale salad or the ultimate kale salad. I think it's the only kale salad recipe I have on my channel, but it's basically that. The last night Ben and I were watching an Emma Chamberlain video, and she was talking about this kale salad with a bunch of quinoa in it, and I was like, oh my god, I love that when it's like just a bunch of quinoa like stuck to the kale. I don't know. So that's what I was craving. So I made some quinoa in an Instant Pot. Wow, these dogs are going crazy. And then use some lemon juice and some salt to massage the kale, put on some tahini. Maybe I should add some like sunflower seeds. If you can hear the blinds in the background, like Hopper is like hitting the blinds trying to get my attention. I might add some sunflower seeds. There's a little bit of Tabasco. So I'm going to eat this. This will probably hold me over for quite a while. I'm really excited for this. I realize it needs some brags. What's going on, Hopper? It really needs some Bragg's liquid amino, so I'll probably add those as well. Yeah, but that's what I'm eating. It's my lunch technically, even though I didn't have a breakfast. Which is why I always have a problem filming these what I eat in a day videos, because it's most of my eating happens at night and it's not pretty to film. Whatever. All right, I'll see you next time. It's about 7 o'clock and I'm starting to get hungry. I've actually felt a little bit hungry for the past little while, but again, the whole psychology of like, well, no, you've got to film it. I feel like there's something to the keeping track or recording it that like makes me less inclined to just get up and throw something in my face, which could be beneficial. I'm craving something. I could easily just eat some more like bread with peanut butter on it. That kind of sounds amazing. Hopper keeps poking my legs. But I think I'm gonna try to make some type of soup. I have some leftover forbidden or black rice. I have those white beans. So I think I'm just gonna try to throw some stuff together, maybe even puree some of the white beans with the broth so it gets a little bit creamy. I have some tofu, so I'm just gonna kind of throw some stuff together with some no chicken flavored better than bouillon and make a kind of a comforty, creamy soup with black rice. So I'll show you what it looks like and let you know what I end up making. So I have about 3 cups of broth with some white beans and cubed sweet potato. I shredded some of the Brussels sprouts, which I keep just like snacking on, as are the pups. And then I have some tofu that's already kind of cooked. I just seared it on both sides, and that just cubed it up. I had some kale that I needed to use. Some chickpeas and white beans will go in later. Under here is the forbidden rice, and then I've used some of this roasted garlic better than bouillon. So as soon as the sweet potatoes get a little bit softer, I will puree it with the immersion blender, and then I will start adding some of this other stuff in at various times, and we should have a delicious soup. Whenever I make things like this where I just throw things together into a pot, I always have in mind that I'm making essentially 1 serving. But as I'll show you, I actually made a pretty big serving, or servings. So I'm not sure how much of it I'm actually gonna eat. I'm pretty hungry, so I'll eat as much as I possibly can. My only criticism of this dish right now is that there really isn't any fat in it. It's a fat-free dish. I put a little drizzle of olive oil on it just to maybe give a little body, but other than that, it doesn't have any fat. So I'll probably end up snacking on some cashews later, which I usually have maybe like a handful or two of cashews at the end of the night, or if I get snacky, I sometimes have peanuts. It's been my go-to snack lately, so I don't know, we'll see how I feel afterwards, if I still have that same satisfied feeling, because it's got a ton of protein, it's got a ton of fiber, just doesn't have the fat, so we'll see if it still has that same satisfaction. But it smells delicious, tastes delicious, as I've been seasoning along the way. So I'm gonna make myself a big bowl of it, and then I'll show you the final product, and then I'll let you know what I eat after that. It's about midnight, and Ben and I got back shortly from taking the dogs on a walk, and he's heating up a frozen burrito, and I felt like it was time for me to eat again too, so I'm having...
He's obsessed with peanut butter toast!
Obsessed with... It's not even toast, it's just bread with peanut butter. I don't know, something about this like whole wheat bread with peanut butter on it is just hitting. We were on our walk, and I was just craving it, so I'm treating myself. I had my peanut butter toast, well, bread. It was amazing. Felt a little snacky still, so I ended up microwaving some frozen edamame, a little bit of serrano pepper, salt, some Bragg's liquid aminos, and actually eating the whole bag of these. So, I had a little small handful of cashews while these are microwaving, but this is gonna be it for me tonight. So I will see you in the morning when I'm ready for my coffee.
Ryan Little.